Bay, but stay tuned for next hour when we'll have a new host, Dewayne Staats. And most importantly, take a moment right now to log on to giveday.org. You can do that anytime between now and midnight to make a contribution for your favorite nonprofit organization. You can choose from more than 500 local organizations, and you'll be supporting those groups who help keep Tampa Bay healthy and strong. Thank you so much for supporting Give Day. We'll see you next hour.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Give Day Tampa Bay 2017. I'm Dewayne Staats, and I will be your host for the next hour of our live streaming webcast. We're here at the WEDU studios in Tampa with representatives from some of over 500 nonprofits who are participating in Give Day Tampa Bay. The theme of Give Day is Live Here, Give Here, and making a donation is quick and easy. Just log on to the giveday.org and search for your favorite charity from our list of participants. When you hit the donation button, you fill in your credit card information and make secure that gift. The minimum donation this year, just $5. Give Day will be going on until midnight tonight, plenty of time. We'll be live streaming from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. in the next hour. And I'll be talking and listening to various nonprofit groups who are making a difference in Tampa Bay. Right now, our next nonprofit guest from Cedarkirk Camp and Conference, John Ryder. John, nice to see you. And Matt Schick, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Tell us in a few words about your organization and what it does.
Cedarkirk is a year-round camp and conference center. We're located on the Alafia River in Lithia, 170 acres, and it's really a place apart where folks can come out, and we provide a ministry of hospitality where groups of all different shapes and sizes come out and have their own retreats. We're affiliated with the Presbyterian Church, but we welcome all folks out there, so we have churches, nonprofit school groups that come out and find a retreat away out in the woods in Lithia there.
Yeah, Matt, we have some video. Let's take a look at that, and why don't you give us an idea of the atmosphere there and what spoke to your heart about your group?
I think I grew up going to camp and really treasure that experience. And one of the things that I love about camp and that I hear from campers and counselors is that it is a place where you can truly be yourself.
They talk about the benefits of camp to get away, kind of clear your minds. I know for a lot of the youngsters, I raised 2 daughters. I have 3 grandchildren. You love to have them out there in a serene environment.
That's right. There's a lot of value in stepping apart from the pressures and the routines of our daily lives and just immersing yourselves in the woods in a community that values maybe different things than we focus on each and every day.
John, how many campers do you touch?
So we serve about 1,000 children and youth over the course of the summer, and it's a residential camp, so they're out there a week at a time. And I think there's something really special about being removed from the busyness and the noise of everyday life. And like Matt said, just having a chance to enjoy some quiet and really get to know yourself and make some new friends and have a lot of fun. We're a Christian camp, so it's also a hope that they might encounter God in new ways and ultimately have a transforming experience out on camp.
What would be the typical day for a camper?
They get up in the morning, have a great breakfast, a little bit of chores to help out around the camp, and then we've got activities all morning. And then activities all afternoon. We do small group camping, so it's a family unit that goes through all kinds of fun stuff, canoeing on the river, swimming, arts and crafts, a lot of archery, different activities like that. And then in the evening, we bring all those small groups together to have kind of the larger camp feel as well. So it's a jam-packed day of lots of fun.
And it has a rich history, doesn't it?
It does. We've been around for a little over 45 years. We're founded in 1971, and the ministry has grown, and we've welcomed lots of groups since then, and it's a joy to work there and a joy to meet the people that we serve in this community.
Yeah. In the time we have remaining, anything special that we haven't talked about that you would want to impart?
Sure. For our Give Day emphasis, we're really focusing on our scholarship fund. We have a scholarship program. We never want the cost of camp to keep a kid from having that experience. And so we're encouraging folks to give today, to give to that scholarship fund so that we can help send kids to camp who wouldn't have that opportunity otherwise. We also have an open house coming up on May 13th that afternoon from 1 to 5. It's a free afternoon just to come out and check out the facilities, learn more about our ministry there.
And again, on the year-long calendar, give us an idea of when it's most active and how much of the year are you actually serving campers?
We serve campers specifically during the summer for about 2 months from June until the beginning of August, but we're busy year-round. We're open year-round, and there's really just a couple weekends of the year that we don't have folks out at camp. So we're fortunate to be located here in Florida where the weather is hospitable all the time to welcome people.
Yeah. Generally speaking, you have a camper come in. What are your observations by the end of the camping experience for a camper in general terms?
This is a group of strangers. Everyone comes in, free of the preconceived notions from school or home, and it is just a joy to watch them come together as a family unit in those small groups, to grow to trust their counselors and one another, and just grow in their relationship with God and watch them develop a sense of identity and self-esteem kind of apart from their family and the community that they come from.
Yeah, and the campers are not the only ones who benefit from this, are they?
No, they're
Absolutely,
not.
yeah.
So much work to do and so much fun to have, and we appreciate your time here with us. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, John Ryder and Matt Schick from Cedarkirk Camp and Conference Center. While our next guests are being seated, let's go to the leaderboard and get an updated total on your donations. There are a number of Give Day incentives and prizes to encourage you to donate. The DeBartolo Family Foundation Animal Services Prize of $2,500 goes to the nonprofit in the animal services category with the most online donors today. So give generously to support animal welfare in the Tampa Bay area. Go to Give Day Tampa Bay. Our next nonprofit, Quantum Leap Farm from Odessa. And with us, to my far left, Mark Lally. Nice to have you with us. In the middle, Carla Berry Staats. And on my immediate left, Jenna Miller. It's great to have you all with us today. Mark, I know something of your experience at the Quantum Leap Farm. You came as a client, stayed around as a board member, as it turns out. Give me your overall impression of Quantum Leap Farm, what it's meant for you, both as a board member and as a client.
Well, being a client has really given me the ability to heal what was wrong within myself, to really work outside of myself and work with others again, and then that made me find a new mission to serve more further on after my career. So it's been a great way to keep continuing on.
Okay, Jenna, you almost live at the farm. I mean, we know you well enough to know that you go home, you're at the farm. If you could give us your impressions of what the farm is and what the mission of the farm would be.
Yeah, for all of those who haven't heard of us, we're a comprehensive equine assisted therapy center, and we've been around since 2000. And we provide equine assisted therapies to adults and children with special needs, disabilities, injuries, debilitating diseases. And we have a wide range of equine assisted therapies, including therapeutic riding, hippotherapy, equine assisted self-exploration, which is our mental health program. And our goal is to empower these individuals by really focusing on their abilities rather than their disabilities. We see so many people that come in and are really discouraged about what they're dealing with, and by putting them on a horse or even just interacting with the horses in whatever other programs, they're so empowered. So that's our goal.
We have some video on the screen now of the farm. It's a beautiful setting, of course, very pastoral and serene. For today, Carla, you have a particular reason for being here. Let's narrow in on the program, Warrior Mission at Ease, and the retreats.
Okay, thank you. Our drive today is to support what we have as a 5-day intensive therapeutic retreat. We utilize the top holistic approaches to healing the biological, psychological, and social injuries of war. And licensed and certified professionals with equine-assisted psychotherapy, accelerated resolution therapy, craniosacral therapy, neurofeedback, storytelling, and peer mentoring to accomplish 5 days of intensive therapeutic healing.
And these, in this case, we're talking about warriors, but that program also serves a general population across the board, a lot of military-related, including caregivers and so forth, but others in the general population as well. Jenna, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our focus is really to offer that holistic approach to really sort of focus on the whole individual and provide them a way to move forward and hope to have a new mission in life. And so they feel like they leave a little bit lighter at the end of the weekend with a toolbox of really great tools that can help them continue on. Coming to Quantum Leap Farm is just the beginning, and our hope is to keep them moving forward after they've come to the farm. Yeah,
Mark, you actually, as I mentioned at the outset, you serve a number of categories in relation to the farm, not only as a civilian, but as a wounded warrior and as a board member. Specifically in each area, what has it done for you?
Well, thinking about, I don't feel like I do enough there. It has really, all of the different programs that I've been involved with have helped me heal to the point where I can be myself again. I can be a full person again. I can actually serve again. I can do again. I can be better with that. So each different thing that I do moves on to the next thing, my next job at the farm, and then from there on it's cyclical that keeps on evolving.
Yeah. Carla, with our focus on the military retreats, I have about 30 seconds left. What's the cost of that, and where does that come from?
Well, the cost is $25,000 for the 5-day for 8 participants to come through the 5 types of therapy, and it covers all of their travel. They don't pay a thing from start to finish. Each veteran can come for free. So we do our own fundraising to make that happen, and we'd like to thank some of our past corporate sponsors who have supported these retreats, the Brink Foundation, Mr. Otto Klaffs, the White Family Foundation, Bloomin' Brands, and Mark and Margot Lally.
And so they come from donors like all of us to make this possible. We thank you all for your good work at Quantum Leap Farm.
Thank you so much.
All right. While our next guests are being seated, let's again go to the leaderboard and get an updated total on your donations. Welcome back. There are a number of Give Day incentives and prizes to encourage you to donate today. The AARP Health and Human Service Prize of $2,500 each is awarded to both the small nonprofit and large nonprofit in the Health and Human Services category, with the most online donors today. So give generously to the nonprofits working to improve the quality of life in our community. Just go to giveday.org. Our next nonprofit, I should say, is Junior Achievement. And before we meet our guest, let's go to the video. And we have a little skit. We have Spencer Clary with us and Julia Inez Baez.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, good afternoon. Give me a general impression of what you would like to do here today. I know that you've put together a skit, right? Well, let's do that.
Good afternoon. I'm Spencer Clary, a 7th grader at Farnell Middle School.
And I am Julia Inez Baez, a senior at Brooks DeBartolo Collegiate High School.
So what does Junior Achievement mean to each of you? Spencer?
Inspiration.
Empowerment.
Self-actualization.
And self-efficacy.
So why is it important for our youth, like you, to be involved in Junior Achievement?
That's a great question, because only one in three Americans has a debt in collections. Employers say that 40% of graduates lack 21st century skills to succeed at work. Kids drop out of school because they don't see how school is relevant for their future. And too many kids are answering questions about their future with, I can't. I'm not going to be one of them. Junior Achievement shows how our education is relevant and can help us with our futures. Take J.A. Biztown. J.A. Biztown is a memorable experience where 5th graders operate a business while performing many different jobs. They manage their own bank account and become more responsible citizens. My J.A. Biztown experience encouraged me to start thinking about what my strengths and interests are and how they will translate into a job. But I don't just want any job. I want a job that will help me with the quality of life that I want to get to. So before I dedicate a lot of time, energy, and money into a career, I want to see what I'm getting myself into. Luckily for me, in February 2018, Junior Achievement will be opening a new program similar to JABIS Town, but for 8th graders that can help answer those questions that I have?
Well, I participated in Junior Achievement's after-school program, where students had the amazing opportunity of building and running a business. We wrote business plans, we created a product, we sold the product, we made profit off the product, and finally we liquidated the company. Our company's name was Coze, and it was a blanket covering whose sole purpose was to keep people and their feet warm. Our JA volunteer, Mr. Rick Coleman, was very helpful throughout the whole process. He provided advice whenever he saw that the company was veering off course. And as a result, we were able to give our investors a 74% return on their investment. And for me, this experience has helped me develop my leadership skills. It has helped me be more confident, and it has made me more passionate and determined to become a successful entrepreneur someday.
So it certainly worked for you, and for junior achievers across the board, how does that work then?
It's actually, you're so right. In fact, independent research was done with Junior Achievement alumni, and it showed that 67% of them, they had a advanced degree, and 143% of them had they wanted to start a business, and the majority of them, like, they had a 20% higher income than their peers. So,
anything to add, Spencer?
Well, that this year, through the generous support of individuals and the business community, Junior Achievement programs have empowered 99,324 students through its in-school programs and capstone experiences like JA BizTown. And with your help, Junior Achievement will be able to expand its programs to include JA Finance Park.
Mm-hmm. And so your plea today would be what?
So to please donate to Junior Achievement and help us change the I can'ts into I can. So if you would like to donate, if you would like more information, you can visit jatampabay.org, and don't forget to donate. Yep. And thank you.
And one quick question, we've got about 20 seconds left, and I'm familiar with Junior Achievement from the time I was your age. To me, the hands-on experience is one of the best things it has. How have you found that to be?
Well, I mean, I learned so much from my experience there that, like, just because you can hear about something over and over and still not get it, but once you do it, it locks in your brain forever. So it was just a really neat experience that I loved.
Well, you two are very impressive. Julie and Spencer, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, while our next guests are being seated, again, let's go to the leaderboard and get the updated total on your donations. Welcome back, and thanks for your generous donations throughout the day. Our next nonprofit is Community Tampa Bay, and with us, Elantra Doss. Nice to see you, Elantra. And Liz Priestley. Liz, good to have you with us. Let's start with you to give us an overview of Community Tampa Bay and what it is and what it hopes to accomplish now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're an organization dedicated to ending all forms of discrimination, and what that looks like is that we have youth and adult leadership, diversity, and inclusion programming that gives people the tools to have hard conversations with people who don't look like them or come from different backgrounds.
Yeah. Elantra, The specifics of that would be, how do you implement that as an organization?
So like she said, we have our youth programming as well as our adults. So we have cultural competence and diversity inclusion education for our adults. And then we also have our flagship program, which we're most known for, which is Anytown. So we take about 50 to 60 youth from Hillsborough and Pinellas County down to Eckerd College, and they get to stay residentially at no cost. And they learn all about different social identities and social issues that they are facing. And then they are more empowered to go back into their schools and community and promote diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, I guess this would be to both of you individually. In the time that you've spent there, what progress have you seen, and what's the time period of that? How long have you been able to be involved in this and hopefully see progress?
Sure. Well, in the time that I've been there, we were having 2 sessions that we served about 100 youth every summer, and just getting the word out and spreading the message about diversity and inclusion. We have been able to offer now 3 sessions, serving over about 150 youth per summer.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Take us inside one of those sessions. What would that be like for the participants? Liz?
So it's basically the most inclusive environment that you can imagine. And so when we walk through our day-to-day lives, oftentimes we have a lot of assumptions about other people, a lot of biases about people who don't look like us or who are different from us. And so Anytown is just this kind of transformative, inclusive environment where everyone feels unconditional love and everyone is intentionally included, as we were talking about different layers of identity and really giving young people the tools to start advocating for themselves.
The benefits of this seem to be common sense, but it's not always that simple, is it?
No. It's not. Getting the message out there is much harder than we would expect. But there are over 6 hate crimes in Florida, and so our goal is to have a community free from all forms of discrimination.
Yeah, and this is not, it's racial, but it's also intergenerational at times, correct?
Absolutely.
Give us an idea of the manifestation of that.
Yeah, so our organization talks about 10 different aspects of social identity, and so that includes race and gender, sexual orientation, class, ability, age, like you mentioned, and so we talk about a whole spectrum of identities. So it's never just one thing, because we are never just one thing at any given time, So I might be a woman, I'm also a white woman, a young white woman, and so we talk about that intersectionality of how all those identities play together.
Yeah, and in the reading I've done of this, anytime you're going to have a program, you're going to have facilitators, particularly with the young or in any generation. So give me the basic, I guess, the strategy that the facilitator would utilize, and where would all the facilitators come from? What's the mix in all of this? Age, race, you name it.
So like she said, we work with 10 different social aspects of social identity. So we choose volunteers and facilitators that represent all different forms of those aspects of identity so that the participants in the groups can see themselves within those facilitators as well.
Yeah, and ultimately the role of a facilitator is to make things easier for the participants to engage. And so rather than lecturing in front of a classroom, everything we do is high energy, high engagement, interactive, and that facilitator is really just someone who helps things go smoother and makes it easier to learn.
And what are the numbers of in this case, let's say young people impacted so far?
We reach about 1,000 youth per year through our youth conferences, as well as our Anytown program over the summer.
Yeah, and the referrals would come from?
They come mostly word of mouth. We do outreach in both Pinellas and Hillsborough County schools. We have folks also, we've been working doing cultural competence training for faculty, staff, administrators throughout Pinellas County schools, so word of mouth that way, and reaching youth through the classes that they're in high schools in both counties.
Maybe 15 seconds left.
Sure.
What's the best story that comes to your mind out of all of this that each one of you have experienced?
That's a great question. Do you have one on the top of your mind?
I know it's a tough question. But
well, we just had our annual fundraiser a couple nights ago last week, and one of the youth had been through the program, was explaining how after the experience, it's like when you're a child and you're like, I want to change the world, and then you go to Anytown and like that candle is like relit again for you, and you want to go out and you want to promote change in your community.
yeah. We thank you for your good work and your time here today.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. While our next guests are being seated, let's go to our leaderboard once again and get an updated total of your donations. Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk to some of the folks who are experts on Give Day, how it works, how we're doing so far today. And for that, with WEDU, we have Allison Hedrick. Allison, number one, welcome. And number two, how are we doing?
We're doing well. We've surpassed the $1 million mark today. We still have a long way to go to reach our goals. So we're hoping that people are tuning in and watching and learning about these organizations, and definitely considering donating to the areas that really touch their hearts.
And I know that that the $1 million mark has been surpassed already, which is great. But as you said, still a lot of ground to cover.
Yes.
But individual donations, that has been on the upswing.
It has. We're seeing a lot new donors this year. We have a lower level, so people can donate $5 to an organization, which gives them an opportunity to maybe donate to more organizations, because we all have so many things that touch our hearts and are important in our communities, whether it's animal welfare or WEDU, community outreach. There's just lots of great, over 500 organizations participating in Give Day today.
Do you find that there's a little momentum from one year to the next now, that it's starting to maybe be established a little bit more?
We think so. Each year, this is our third year participating here at WEDU, and so we have seen a lot of growth each year. So we're hoping that that'll hold true this year as well. But we do need people to get out there on their computers or their phones and donate and learn about these organizations.
Yeah, and the bottom line is, as you well know, WEDU can be the centerpiece of this, but it's a great community with a lot of great causes, a lot of need. But that also leads to, I think, positive citizenship, and I think that's what we're seeing in all of the donors that we have to this point.
Absolutely. Just being able, Give Day is a great avenue to learn about the organizations people may not have known about, or maybe they knew about the organizations or didn't quite know what they did in the community or how important it was. So it's a great avenue to be able to learn that and to let people know, or let organizations let people know what their needs are.
All right. Allison, great to see you.
Thank you.
Good, tough work. Nice going. It's great to have you with us. Allison Hedrick from WEDU. There are lots of ways that individuals can decide they need to start a not-profit organization. So let's hear another story about someone deciding that they needed to give back and help out.
Tampa Theater opened on Franklin Street downtown on October 15th, 1926. So we just celebrated our 90th birthday. And for 90 years, we've been showing movies in downtown Tampa. We opened as one of the most majestic movie palaces in the country. We were designed by an architect named John Eberson, who was known at the time for what he called the atmospheric style of theater. So what that means for us is when you walk in, it feels like you're in an outdoor courtyard under a starry night sky, and you can see the rooftops all around you. So not only is it stunning visually, but it's a really important piece of the history of movies and movie making in America. The movie palace is a distinctly American style of architecture, and unfortunately in the 40s and 50s, when these movie palaces became independent, had to start making some money for themselves, many of them were torn down. So 90 years later, we are really lucky to be the only historic movie palace left in downtown Tampa, one that is owned by the city. The building is owned by the city of Tampa and operated by a nonprofit arts organization called the Tampa Theater Foundation. We still have our original mighty Wurlitzer theater organ. And I can tell you that out of all of the historic movie palaces left across the country, you can literally count on two hands the number that still have their original organ in its original home. So it's something very special for us and something we like to show off. Before every single film, if you come just on a regular weeknight to see a movie, you're going to see a volunteer organist play that historic organ for about 15 minutes before the showtime. And then a couple of times a year, we also like to bring down a guest organist from Atlantic City and actually present silent movies. Now, when we opened in 1926, we opened as a silent movie palace. We didn't get our first talkie for almost 3 years after that. So we really do like to go back to our roots and showcase those historic movies as they were meant to be seen with live musician. We are in the middle of a first phase of fundraising that covers not only the seats and carpet, but a lobby restoration, a lot of infrastructure work. We were the first commercially air-conditioned building in Tampa, which was amazing 90 years ago, but unfortunately some of those components in the walls and in the basement are still the same components from 90 years ago. So this first phase of the campaign is a $6 million campaign. We are about $5.2 million of the way there, so we're just trying to raise that last little bit, and that's for those seats and that carpet. So on Give Day Tampa Bay, we're just really hoping that people think about Tampa Theater, think about their downtown movie palace, and might help us cush their tushes and get a little bit closer to our goal.
And thank you on behalf of Tampa Theater and the Foundation. Our next nonprofit is Metropolitan Ministries, and we're proud to have with us the President and CEO, Tim Marks. This is one of the premier organizations in our community. I know for a fact that you do great work in so many areas, food, housing, you name it. Tell me what's going on there now, because there's always something dynamic.
Yeah, Dwayne, thank you for your kind words. And nothing good happens at Metropolitan Ministries without a great community standing behind us. And that's why Give Day is another great example of how great this Tampa Bay community is and how it gives back to help organizations like Metropolitan Ministries and so many other great nonprofits that we've heard from this morning and this afternoon. For Metro, we are caring for families and helping them move to self-sufficiency. We've had a lot of growth. We used to have just 43 families on our campus. Now we're caring for about 125 families every night, helping them move to self-sufficiency. Just in the month of April, we helped 44 families move through our program and find affordable housing. That used to be our annual number. Now we're doing that every month, and we have additional goals in front of us. This summer, we're going to be caring for another 57 families to add to that number. That takes us over 180 families under our care with children, and getting families off the streets, getting them into a safe environment, but more importantly, giving them the tools to become self-sufficient. And we couldn't do that without this great community.
You know, I know that you give them really a springboard. Part of that is developing life skills. Tell me a little bit about that program.
It really is important. You know, we have a strong educational focus from early childhood education to elementary school and after-school programs, teen programs with robotics and STEAM focus, but adult education right on campus where you could get your GED, and then also life skills to help families deal with issues and the traumas that they've been through. I once had a mom who said her favorite class was the parent-child class, and then she explained the trauma that she had gone through as a young child herself and the abuse that she had gone through, and now that she was a parent, she needed the tools that many of us take for granted to be a part of a loving family, and she received that in that parent-child class.
And you have now a donation match available, so give us the incentive for that.
Yeah, we're very excited. You know, our mission is to alleviate suffering, promote dignity, and instill self-sufficiency. For many, suffering comes from a meal and being hungry, and so we have a hunger program where we're feeding 2,500 people every day in a distributed model where food is going out to Pinellas, to Pasco, and Hillsborough County. And so what we're doing right now is we're trying to raise $50,000 through Give Day, and we have a $50,000 match. So anything that's given today at the giveday.org website or at the metromin.org website will be matched up to $50,000. We'll use those funds for our hunger programs where we can feed somebody for $2. And so our goal is to generate enough revenue to feed 25,000 people.
You know, so many people think of Tampa Bay and they think, well, it's Tampa, might be St. Petersburg, Clearwater. You're inclusive of the entire area. I mean, your program impacts many, many people in this region.
Yeah, we believe in a distributed model. It's not fair to have the hungry or the homeless come just to us. So we want to reach out to the community with many different partners so that we can meet the needs in the community. So, like, I know there's a need in South County, but the folks that live in South County know the need by name. And that's why we partner with agencies in South County so that they can meet the needs in their own community.
And it's always rewarding, at the same time difficult when you realize the need of children in this community.
It really is, but we're all about that transformation. I mentioned a little bit about our STEAM focus and the educational components. We had 3 young men in our program that had just thrived in our robotics program, and they're so brilliant. And what we learned was before they came to Metropolitan Ministries, they were in an abusive relationship where their father was actually keeping them out of school up to 3 years that they weren't in a stable educational environment. So when we get a child in our safe care, we want to get that child back up to grade level, give them hope, give them a new trajectory for their lives, and we're seeing that pay dividends each and every day.
Well, Tim, we wish you all the best. It's great to have you here. Thank you for your great work.
Thank you, and thank you to this great community and to all the viewers.
Tim Marks, Metropolitan Ministry. While our next guests are being seated, we'll again go to the leaderboard and get another update on the total of your donations. Welcome back. Well, our next nonprofit is the Animal Coalition of Tampa. It's great to have you with us. And our guest, Denise Greeno. Nice to have you here with us. And Dina Athanasia. And it's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
You're the director, Denise, of operations, and the events and outreach manager, Dina. I think it's something that's close to almost everybody in our audience, what you're trying to do. Denise, let's start with you. Number one, you've got a little handful and a little bundle right over there.
I do. This is Mia, and she's actually a patient at ACT. I brought her in for a tooth that I thought was bad, and come to find out, after my surgeon looked at her and was going to pull her tooth for me, she found out that her jaw was dislocated in 2 places. So, we are a high-quality nonprofit organization, wellness clinic.
Yes, and you are not limited to dogs, but the feline side as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Dogs and cats. So our mission is to improve the lives of animals through low-cost spay-neuter programs and affordable medical services, and that's what she was talking about there. And a lot of people don't realize that because when ACT first started out, we were primarily a low-cost spay-neuter clinic, but we do provide all sorts of veterinary care, including dentals, and it's affordable to the community, which is important because some of the people may not be able to afford care for their animals otherwise.
How do they come to your attention usually?
Well, a couple of ways. So we have a clinic at 1719 West Lemon Street in Tampa. So sometimes people come to us. But for example, one of our programs is the Neuter Scooter. And the Neuter Scooter goes out to communities that are underserved and perhaps economically disadvantaged. And they take the animals, bring them to the clinic, sterilize them, and then return them to their families.
Denise, you will see in some cases some heartbreak, but at the end of the day, you have to see a lot of happy endings to some of these stories. Tell us some of that. I mean, you're holding one in your hand.
Yes, absolutely. On a day-to-day basis, we see it's just it's overwhelming how the feeling that you get helping these animals. It really is. We take pride. We're very passionate about what we do. And we get a lot of stories, and like you said, some don't have the best ending, but just comforting the parents when that ending isn't so well is even rewarding for us.
I think it's easy sometimes to forget about this population, but there is a reason. I guess what I want to say is that there's a humanitarian reason to address this issue, but there's also an issue that comes back to each individual when we do the right thing.
There really is, and it's imperative that we are their voice because they can't speak for themselves. So for myself, and I think for Denise as well, and most animal lovers and animal advocates, that's what's so rewarding, is to get to speak for these little guys and girls that aren't able to speak for themselves and have a voice.
There are a lot of animals who have no homes. How do you approach that issue?
Well, there's a saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So research shows that in areas where there are low-cost spay-neuter options, spay-neuter increases and the euthanasia of healthy adoptable animals in shelters decrease. So that's a big part of what ACT does. So that is that speaks to what you were just asking.
Yeah, and how long have you been involved in this, each one of you? It's a great area. So how did this begin for you, Denise?
Well, I've been involved in nonprofits for probably about 15 years, not necessarily ACT. I just came to ACT in January, and it was just by happen chance. I was at a nonprofit event, and I was going around to all of the nonprofits seeing where I could volunteer, and it just happened to be ACT, and then she asked me if I wanted a job, and I said absolutely.
Yeah. It's just kismet sometimes.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
And for myself, since 2008, and I've been involved with a variety of different animal issues, everything from factory farming to spay-neuter, and I find it very rewarding.
Yeah, and it's a sensible solution.
It really is. It really is. And it's healthier for the animals. There's still a lot of myths that are prevalent that people think, oh, if I spay or neuter my cat or dog, they're going to get fat or lazy. Absolutely not true. The good thing is nowadays with the internet, you can Google all this stuff and find out that those myths have been proven to be incorrect. And in fact, it is healthier. It cuts down on cancer. The animals live longer, healthier lives. A lot of bad behaviors, spraying, roaming, howling, are decreased after you get your animal spayed or neutered. Certainly aggression in male animals decreases after they get neutered.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Well, Dina, Denise, great to see you. Good work. Nice
Thank
going.
you.
Keep it up, and we'll look forward to more great things in the future.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you
for being here.
Thank you.
Well, while our next guests are being seated, we'll again go to the leaderboard and get an updated total on your donations. Welcome back, everyone. Our next nonprofit for Give Day Tampa Bay helps families who need to have reliable transportation to work and contribute. Wheels of Success also helps out with maintenance and repair needs for families. So let's go live to the AAA Auto Club in Tampa, where reporter Laura McElroy is standing by with representatives from Wheels of Success, who have a very big surprise for one fortunate person. Laura?
They certainly do. We are here at Wheels of Success, and they're getting ready to give the gift of independence in the form of this car to a veteran who needed some help getting back on her feet. And she is just one of the many, many people that Wheels of Success helps. They have provided more than 900 people in the Bay Area with vehicles, and they have repaired cars for another 800 people. And I want to show you a graphic that shows you that you don't have to donate a car in order to help the Wheels of Success. $25 will change the oil in a vehicle. $50 will buy a new tire. $100 will replace brakes. $1,000 will buy a brand new engine. So you can see there's lots of ways to support this very worthy organization. And if we can come back live, I'd like to introduce you to the man who made this all possible at AAA Insurance. This is a vice president of AAA Insurance, Bobby Fudge. So tell me how you guys came up with this idea to get involved and to help the Wheels of Success.
Well, it all started with Chris Remley, who is one of our managers that oversees the repair of automobiles across the state of Florida. We had one of our vehicles in our fleet that was coming up and needed to be replaced. And we came up with, he said, we can either sell it, or he said, I know of an organization that could find somebody that could really use this vehicle.
Great idea. And how does it feel that you're giving the car to somebody who's working hard in our community? She's working full time. She has served our country 8 years with the Army, and to know that you're really giving the car to someone who deserves it.
Well, part of our mission at AAA is helping people, our members particularly, along that life's journey. And in this case, it's somebody that their journey got a little bumpy, and at AAA, we know how that goes. And so it's a vehicle that over the last 4 or 5 years has helped thousands of people get their cars back on the road. And it's really gratifying to us to know that it's going to get somebody back and forth to work and to see their family every day.
How apropos. All right, well, now we need to meet the lady, the lucky lady of the hour. Come on over here, Nikita. What an exciting day for you. And I understand you're getting this car for your birthday. Tell me about the call you got yesterday on your birthday.
Yesterday, I received a call from Wheels of Success indicating that there was going to be a giveaway and my name was chosen as a veteran. And I was so excited because, as you stated, yesterday was my birthday, so that's like the ultimate birthday gift to receive.
You just want to jump up and down and scream and yell?
Yes. Yes, I was extremely excited. Today is a great honor.
So when you got out of the military in 2014, things were going well. You had a full-time job, you were working, but then things kind of turned upside down. Tell me what happened.
Well, my son and I were involved in a car accident, and me being the only breadwinner in the house, I was out of work for a while, so that was a loss of income. We lost our house. So, you know, it's just been kind of a struggle trying to get back on my feet. And thanks to Wheels of Success and AAA Insurance, this is going to be a great way to get back, you know, to being independent and self-sufficient and able to assist my family.
Well, let's find out what's under this cover right here. We are finally going to reveal the car to Nikita. AAA Insurance is at the back there, and they are going to pull the cover off and show Nikita her brand new car. Go ahead and open up, take a peek inside. I told her it was okay to cry. It's such a great day. It's so exciting for Nikita. Your very own car. And there's your keys. And find out, Nikita, wipe those tears away. Those are happy tears, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Where are you going to drive the first time in your new, beautiful Ford Fusion?
I'm actually going to cruise the city and go pick up my grandbaby. Thank you so very much.
I'm sure it's hard to put it into words how you're feeling right now, but can you try to describe it for us?
It is truly a blessing. It is a blessing, and I am just overjoyed with happiness. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
I wish I could give you a hug right now. So Nikita's getting ready to drive off in her 2012 Ford Fusion, a woman who has served our country, who's working full-time, working very hard to provide for her grandchildren. And this new vehicle from Wheels of Success will make all the difference in her world. So you can support this organization by going online to givedaytampabay.org and make your donation. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, and what a great story that turned out to be. While our next guests are being seated, let's go to the leaderboard one more time and get the updated total on your generous donations. Welcome back one more time. Our next nonprofit is the Lynn Fund, and we're going to find out exactly what that means, LYN, from the president of the Lynn Fund, Wen Morin. Wen, nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having us.
And also with us, Sherry Perry. Good to have you here. And Erica Linford, good to have you here.
Thank you.
I get the feeling, and what I know of this, is about as community and grassroots as it could be. Want to tell us, number one, the acronym stands for what?
The Lynn Fund stands for Love Your Neighbor, and that's really what we do in our community.
And tell me the beginning of this. How did this come to be?
Well, I'm a breast cancer survivor, and we lost several people in our community to cancer. One particular was a woman named Lynn, a good friend of mine, and she did physical labor. And she got diagnosed with cervical cancer and had to physically work while getting extreme chemo and treatment. And it was heartbreaking. And when we lost her, it was sink or swim, and I decided to swim, and they're stuck with me.
Yeah. Sherry, what was your calling, the motivator for you?
Well, I was supported by the Lynn Fund. I was diagnosed with invasive lobular breast cancer in late 2015. And of course, it's a shocking diagnosis, but as a single parent with 2 kids in college, not only the financial support that the Lynn Fund provided, but the community support and people that have a like diagnosis of yours, of all ages. You know, it's been unbelievable, the support that you're given in so many ways.
Erica, I'm sure that you all have like stories, but there's still individual stories. What's your story?
Well, Wen and I met. Our kids are different in ages, so we didn't know each other when our kids were growing up, but we lost a common friend, and through that relationship, I was with her during her diagnosis, and we became friends. And after she lost her very good friend, Lynn, who I hardly knew but was blessed by her friendship, Wen said, Erica, I need to do something. And I made the mistake at that point 2 years ago, and I looked her in the eyes and said, whatever you need, Wen, I'll be by your side. And here I am as her vice president by her side. But I will tell you, as much as our organization has blessed upwards of 20 people in the last not even 2 years, it's blessed me personally and professionally without end.
See what all that goodness gets you into?
It does.
It's right
it
here
sure
today.
Does. It sure
Give us
does.
a little breakdown, if you could, on some of the things you do, the money you raise, the support you give.
Yep.
Would be what?
What we do is we pay living expenses for patients in Pinellas and Pasco counties who are battling a female cancer and are in active cancer treatment. So we can help each one of them up to $3,000 with rent, car payments, utilities, power, and it really gets them through a hard time while they're in treatment, and then they can get back up on their feet again and not have to struggle financially.
Yeah, heartwarming stories, all that touch not only the people that you help, but I would think, Sherry, your own heart as well.
Oh, definitely. And even the people you meet. I mean, in the organization, there's a young girl, Serena, who was diagnosed at, 32 while she was pregnant. And that emotionally, to deal with that, let alone financially, is unbelievable.
Well, I am impressed by all of you, Erica, Sherry, Wenda, thank you for being here, and we wish you all the best in the good work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We call it the Lynn Fund, L-Y-N. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this hour of Give Day Tampa Bay. But stay tuned. Next hour, we'll be further hosting live programming right here. But most of all, log on to giveday.org anytime before midnight tonight and make a contribution to your favorite nonprofit organization. You can choose from over 500 organizations, and you'll be supporting those groups who keep the Tampa Bay area healthy and strong. Thanks for supporting Give Day, and we'll see you in the future.
Welcome to Give Day Tampa Bay 2017, live from the WEDU studios at the Berkman Family Broadcast Center.
Good afternoon.